I shouldn't laugh, but I'm sorry. Yeah, I was not expecting that from him. Oh, man. Oh, welcome to the Excuse Me Brother podcast show. I'm your host, Brother Jay. Tonight, I got my co-host with me.
Which one?
Both of them.
Producer Jay.
And Brother Tyre.
And both of y'all niggas.
You know, I made the mistake when we did loading up about introducing yourselves. I think what would work better is if we announce who we're gonna introduce first, because it led to a whole bunch of issues when we started it, because nobody knew nobody knew when to react or whatever.
Oh no, it was more fun. It was more fun just being destructive. It's a whole new ball game.
Just let everybody else find out who I'm talking about.
Jesus Christ.
Absolutely, it's funny.
How y'all feeling today, guys?
I'm back with a vengeance since I got my voice back. It's a trouble. Problems
now.
now.
To be honest, I'm not doing so well. I'm gonna be straight up. I almost was not gonna be here today, but luckily I got things sorted out right before you said you were ready. So,
oh, you got a nice haircut to go with it.
Oh, this is old. This is like last week.
Oh, well, I got a new haircut to go with it. Then can't tell, but I got a haircut.
I was gonna say you were wearing a freaking. Oh no, that's not a hoodie.
It is a hoodie.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like a do-rag.
No, my hair's too big for a do-rag right now.
There's that.
Yes, my hair's too big for a do-rag.
I mean, I've had a haircut in like 2 years, so I can't say nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at his hair.
Well, I mean, I thought that was just like you trimmed it that way. I don't know.
Oh, he just hasn't cut his hair.
It stays like this.
Okay.
Which is interesting because I think when I first met him, he had a curly afro. Now it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe this.
Locks?
Not exactly, but like it's kind of
not really locks. My hair is my hair. It does what it wants. This is what happens when curls bend to longer forms. Pretty much it.
Right.
It's still curly.
But it works for you. It works for you.
It does. It's your signature.
Yeah, that's your new signature. Come on, man. Don't gay it up.
I'm going to gay it up if I want to. Stop hating, nigga. Don't be mad. I'm beautiful.
What's wrong with that?
Can't with this tongue. Don't bring this toxic masculinity into this.
Anyway.
Tell them, Tay.
Anyway.
Just let me have the compliment. Why you hating?
I did give you a compliment.
And then you took it away.
What's the purpose?
To be destructive,
I can't
just
do
like you said.
things.
Trying to be destructive like
when
you.
Yeah, when you do it, it's not fun.
I'm not a fun person.
Oh, we already knew.
I'm not a fun person.
I knew when I met you.
Well, no, that's different because I had to train you. So
there was no fun in your soul. No, even after that, there was no fun in your soul.
Thankfully, I've never had to experience Supervisor Jay.
Oh man, speaking of being
a supervisor,
good God.
Oh my goodness. He was never a supervisor.
I am one now.
Well, he has one. He has one now. Yeah.
Yeah, he has one now.
Yo, and it's funny because we had two rotational girls with us who are still in training, and she asked me. One of them asked me. Well, everybody asked me this, but they always be like, "Yo, how do you like it?" And I just be like, "Nah,
I don't." I don't.
They got one.
I gotta talk to you. I gotta talk to you. You see, like, this is like a whole problem right now. You see how we're having this conversation? This means I'm not doing what I want to do. That's all this means. It means I gotta talk to you and have conversations. I don't want none of this shit.
I'm a glorified middleman. That's what I am.
Pretty much. It took you a minute to realize it, but I'm glad you know.
Well, no, I pretty much knew that from the jump. Because even the guy who instructed, he was like, "Look, you guys probably have the hardest job in all of transit, so good luck to you."
He was like, I want you to know what you about to do was no fun.
Not at all. Not at all.
Just be prepared to have no fun.
Not zero. But we all here, so it is what it is. How was y'all
What's your
weekend?
definition of here? I got no
It was
complaints.
busy.
Yeah, this past weekend was kind of rough on us, wasn't it? I think
Yes.
producer Jay, you said it's snake bit. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
snake
that's right, you
bitten.
did say that.
'Cause Friday, I had to deal with some stuff, so we weren't able to record. Well, we weren't able to record on Thursday. Then we changed it to Friday, and
And then we
then
weren't able to record on Friday.
we weren't able to record on Friday. Then Brother Tyre got his voice taken away from him. So
Friday.
I was like, it was
Ironically,
everything going wrong.
I want to say that I did say this, but the funniest thing I told my other friends that like I lost my voice, and my friend responded, he's like, "You don't like people anyway, so that's a win to you."
He could have just went.
Look,
just
Yeah.
well, glad to see that you got your voice back for the time being.
To the detriment of you and everyone else in the world.
Well, we've learned to live without it. We learned to live with it, so we'll be all right. Something else happened over the weekend that kind of rocked the nation to the core.
Was it over this weekend?
What was
that?
It didn't happen over the weekend, but we saw what happened, and the revelation came over the weekend. I'll say it like that. As we all know, 29-year-old Tyre Nichols was beaten to death by 5 Memphis police officers, and the video got released on, was it Friday?
It might have been Thursday or Friday. It was Sunday. I wish I remember the date.
I think it was Friday because we had initially planned to do a different episode, and then last minute we changed it to this.
Right. So let's just do a little bit of background information on the case, because to be completely honest, I knew nothing about this until the video came out.
Yeah, neither did I.
Which is odd for me, because I usually am aware of, these police brutality cases, but it wasn't until the video came out that I even knew that this was a situation. So
you're not also the. I also was unaware of this until like.
You know what? I think there's a reason for that.
Yeah, they did a really good job hiding it. Not to make it sound bad, but
not
that's
even
that
it. I think it's just the people who were involved didn't spark enough controversy.
Until they saw the video.
Until they saw the video, yeah.
It was 5. There was as a thing. It was 5 black police officers that killed this young black man.
Yeah,
right.
And that's why the media don't want to pick it up on it.
So it's
they're like black people can't black people.
Exactly.
It was weird, because it's like, usually cases of police brutality, we know about these things, especially since he was taken to the hospital in critical condition and died 3 days later. Usually, when something like that happens, you would hear about it. But the fact that none of us heard about it until the video came out was just a little like, okay. And then the video came out. I didn't watch much of the video, but what I saw was just like, okay, like this is wild. And a lot of people were comparing it to Rodney King, the Rodney King video back from 1992. Did any of y'all see those videos?
I never really got the chance to fully see them, but I did get to see some of them.
Did you watch all of the Tyre Nichols video?
Yes. Well, not all of it. Whatever I got online is what I saw. I don't know. It gave me the full video though.
Yeah, I didn't see the full video. I just saw like clips of it. But that was enough.
Yeah.
So how did it make y'all feel? Because I was just like, I was more disgusted than I was outraged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was quite a heinous thing. Because, like, normally when it comes to these videos, it's like, oh, it's unfortunate, like, you see, but it's normally like, oh, well, they got shot, and then they're still telling them to get down. It's clearly obvious that they're dead. Now, this one was a brutal beatdown.
Yeah.
It was like
this was a mugging.
Like, to the point where, like, they beat him with a baton or tased him, whatever it was. Then they picked him up and just, like, started raining haymakers. I'm like, yo, what is going on with this?
Mm-hmm.
That was the part that I saw, and I was just like, yeah, no, this is not. This is more than just like police brutality. This is personal, because nobody throws hands like that as a cop. Like, we've seen police brutality. Like, it's sad to say, but they have like a certain protocol, quote unquote, where they try to make it seem like they're doing the right thing, but in reality, we know what they're doing.
Now they
still tried. They didn't even try. They were just beating his ass. Like, they didn't care.
It's funny,
and it was a jumping.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because you mentioned that it looked like it was personal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a story floating around on social media. It hasn't been confirmed yet. It hasn't been it hasn't been verified yet that one of the officers, right? Because Tyre Nichols worked at FedEx, right? And apparently Tyre Nichols was dating the ex-wife of one of the officers, and that's why they pulled him over and got him. So now I don't know how true this is. I don't want to say that that's the case, but you said that it looked personal, right?
It did.
You just I got one of my homeboys to run up on y'all and we jumped you type thing. If it looked like that, then the two and two go together. So it's like this wasn't a regular traffic stop. This looked like it was a beatdown, like you said.
Yeah,
it was legit it looked like it was a beatdown like you would see here in the Bronx or any place in any part of New York City where you're like, oh, like, damn, that brother getting jumped. That's crazy.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the police, if it wasn't for the police uniform, I would have thought this was like a gang related thing.
Wow.
And like the point where like they were beating up and they were still holding his arms back and holding him up. Like, nah, you got a few more minutes to take care of this. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
I got some information here from the NPR. It's just a little timeline about what happened, right? So it says that Tyre Nichols was he's 29 years old, right? Had a 4-year-old son. He originally lived in California, but moved to Memphis so that way he could find work. Moved to Memphis down in 2020, when the pandemic hit. And he was on his way home from work that night. They said that on January 8th, Nichols was taken into custody after a traffic stop that involved 2 confrontations with officers. During the initial confrontation, Nichols fled the scene of a traffic stop. That's what they said, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says following the arrest, Nichols then complained of shortness of breath. According to authorities, it was taken to the hospital in critical condition where he died on January 10th. So his family has said the police beat him so severely that he was unrecognizable. Right? Then they released the videos, right? It says in the videos, officers are seen dragging Nichols from his car and shouting profanities throughout the confrontation. An officer tries to deploy a taser. I think, Tay, you mentioned a taser, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says that the officers try to deploy a taser at Nichols and then begin to chase him on foot. He says, "I'm just trying to go home." Later, officers are seen repeatedly kicking, punching, and using a baton to strike Nichols as he lies on the ground. At one point, he's heard yelling, "Mom." Lawyers for the Nichols family say this encounter happened within 100 yards of his family's home.
Damn.
Can you imagine getting beat up three doors down from your house?
Field. No, you said 100 yards, right?
Right.
That's literally a field. So it's literally at one end zone and you can see your house at the other.
Yeah.
That's all you can really do.
That's insane. That's insane. Now, the reactions to the videos have been, as expected. It's been met with, outrage and sadness and disgust. I mean, I've seen a lot of people on CNN. I was watching CNN the night of, and I forgot who the dude was interviewing. What's the guy's name?
CNN?
Yeah. I forgot his name. Not Anderson Cooper, but the black guy. It's like one of the only black guys on the network. Either way, he was interviewing somebody, and I think he was interviewing one of the attorneys down in one of the civil rights attorneys down in Memphis.
Is it Don Lemon?
Yes, him.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
He was interviewing somebody, and dude was literally in tears during the interview. I think he was a civil rights attorney, and he was like literally wiping his eyes during the interview because he said it reminded him so much of Rodney King, and you know, it was scary and disgusting and this and the third. So
it looked like it.
Huh?
It looked terrifying. I saw him. Like imagine imagine you see that video that's like your brother. Like him like that. Like I would absolutely believe it was terrifying.
So I wanted to ask you, have y'all, either one of y'all, ever had encounters with police officers where you thought, oh shit, you know, this might be the end?
I've had encounters with the police officers, yes. But there's never been one where I'm like, damn, this is how I die. There have been times I thought it, like out there it's over. Like when you're in the moment, you're like, okay. Like I've been questioned. Like there have been times I just been like stopped, pulled over from time to time. Like there have been times I'm like, damn, I'm about to go to jail. There's no like I'm about to call somebody. I don't know what I did, but I'm about to go to jail.
I'm sorry.
It's not. God damn it. It's not like they were like, damn. It's one of those days you're like, I was like, oh, we're gonna need you. Like when they start asking you questions, you're like, oh, what about this? I'm like, damn, I'm about to go on bookends. I'm about to miss work. I done nothing wrong. This is crazy.
Say it again, because you froze up for a little bit.
Yeah, something's been going on. Yeah, it's like there's been times I'm like they're asking me certain questions. I'm like, damn, they looking for somebody. And I saw if I hear the words you fit the description, I know I'm not making it to work that day.
Damn.
I've had like moments like that.
Yeah, no, for me, I never actually myself had to deal with the cops, thankfully. Outside of like getting pulled over for speeding, but that was years ago. But I have witnessed it. It actually happened in front of my mom's house, where there was I think it was a Spanish guy. I don't know what he was doing. Like I kind of just saw it because I was in my room and I saw it out the window. There was a Spanish guy who like literally was getting beat up by the cops, and they took him, and he had his kids there. Like he was at the park. There's a park across the street from me, and he was at the park with his kids. I don't know what happened, and they just started beating on him. Maybe not to the extent like this video, but they were abusing him, and they took him away, and his kids were just there. I don't know what happened with the kids, because I was actually leaving because I was going to my dad's at that time. So it was crazy.
Oh, yikes! Yeah, so that's another thing I would be afraid of. Is like you getting abused by the police in front of your children. That's rough, bro.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, and and I think Tay could probably, well, maybe you too, Jeremy. But I know Tay and I definitely have been given the talk by our parents.
About police?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's two talks that every black teenager gets. It's the talk about the birds and the bees, and the talk of dealing with the police.
So,
what takes when your mother gave you the talk, right? Did she how did it go?
One funny actually. When I actually got the talk, I got it from my aunt, who was a former police officer.
Really?
Wow.
So she's like, just know, like, when you go, like, just make sure that you try your best not to look like anything, because, like, she was like, there's nothing. It's like they will arrest you and they will beat you. I never got the talk of, like, they will kill you, but it was the talk of, like, you will get arrested and beat down. And I was like, I'm not trying to get jumped.
What about you, producer?
I kind of got it. Like, I know my dad, he knows a bunch of cops, and he's gotten kind of like the talk, like sort of like what to steer clear of, like what to do and what not to do. So he kind of relayed it to me. but it was never to like worry or like how to get out of a situation. It was just like just be cordial, talk the right way, like do what they say, and it's never been anything out of like fear or anything like that.
Talk the right way is always one of the phrases I hear a lot.
Yeah. Like don't incriminate yourself, pretty much. Like don't be nervous. Like it's just a regular situation. And I've seen a lot of like TikTok videos as well about it too.
Well, one of the most important things I believe when it comes to especially, young Black and Latino men, when it comes to interacting with police, is that a lot of times, I'm gonna just be honest, we don't know our rights. So we don't know how to interact with the police. Like, we don't know about the Fourth Amendment as well as we should. We don't know that, about detainee laws, especially, with respect to the jurisdiction that you're in. But yet, still seems like a lot of times we're more targeted than anybody else in the world. You know what I mean? Now, I got some statistics for us, just a little bit. Say, like, I used to bring up statistics all the time.
Man, it's been a minute. I won't make any
jokes. It's been a minute since I've done this, right?
I won't make any jokes this time.
Went to nature.com. It says what data say about police brutality and racial bias, right? It says that government officials, academic researchers, and media outlets launched data collection projects around that time to better understand the frequency of police violence and the risk factors that contribute to it. That was after what's his name was killed. After Michael Brown in 2014, right? In Ferguson, Missouri. Y'all remember that one?
Yeah.
Right? It says, from these growing data sets come some disturbing findings. About 1,000 civilians are killed each year by law enforcement officers in the United States. 1,000 people yearly killed by police officers, right, in the United States. By one estimate, Black men are 2.5 times more likely than white men to be killed by police during their lifetime. And in another study, Black people who are fatally shot by police seem to be twice as likely as white people to be unarmed. So not only are we getting killed at a higher clip, but even when we're unarmed, we're still getting killed at a higher clip than our white counterparts.
That trigger finger is too itchy.
Super itchy, fam. Super itchy. And it's just like, what causes these kinds of things? It says, hold on one second. It says a December 2019 paper reported that bias in police administrative records results in many studies underestimating levels of racial bias in policing, or even masking discrimination entirely. Now, it says that the data is still limited, which makes crafting policy difficult. But it says that in national data set established by the FBI in 2019, for example, contains data from about 40% of U.S. law enforcement officers, right? So they don't even collect data in such a way that can be quantified enough so that way it can invoke change. Because that if you brought enough attention to the issue, then you would have to do something about it, or at least you would think.
I mean, in reality, it just comes down to our leaders who it feels like they want to do something, but then it's all like talk. Like they'll address it, they'll make a statement about what happened, but it's like it never really goes beyond that. And this has been happening for decades.
Okay.
So it's like it's not a new thing. Like you should have done this way long ago. Why is it taking like this to get started, or the next thing, or the next, like, when is it gonna actually happen is the problem.
What say you, Tay?
All right, one, the data itself, it shows how much, it kind of just shows that there's more of a hidden thing behind it. It's the same thing where every time, like, remember how there are certain cops that, like, blow the whistle and then, like, they lose their job because they said something they weren't supposed to? It's kind of like, that's how I feel about most of the statistics, when they're not allowed to get enough. And also, as an idea, like, a lot of the people who are doing these studies are normally getting paid by the precinct. So like if they don't, like they supposed to do enough not to get in trouble with their employer. So it leads to a lot of other issues that comes to it. But also, the thing, this is what you want your police officers to be objective. You don't want people to get in trouble for the nonsense, but like they're doing everything they can not to fix the system in my eyes, honestly. They're like,
I agree with that. I just feel like a lot of times you can't necessarily. Yeah.
It's more like, like everyone knows that a part of it's a problem. Like people can see the issue, and like even when like from to the point where like comedy news shows like the Daily Show have done like reports on this, where like they have police officers be like, no, it's the system. The system's an issue that leads to like these sort of racist bias, and like they're still not trying to get any they're not trying to get any trainings or anything to undo this issue, to undo the system. They're like eventually it'll go away. It's like, well, not really.
Well, it's like you said, it's kind of like a fundamental flaw. You know what I mean? It's not that. Well, I can't really call it a flaw if it was designed that way. Because remember, policing in the United States really stemmed from slave catching.
Yeah.
So the implicit racism is there already. So it's like, how can we really claim that the system is flawed if it was designed this way?
It was designed.
And if it works for the people in power, can we really say like, oh, you need to change it for us here at the bottom?
And it also doesn't help that whenever a situation like this happens, all they do is just keep their mouth shut for like a few weeks, and then it really does go away. Like it may not, the impact doesn't go away, but the coverage goes away, the talk goes away, and people just move on to the next thing, and they know this. And that's why it's like dealing with the child. It's like whenever they keep bugging you about something, just ignore them. Well, I mean, not to say don't do that or to do that, but that's, some parents do that. They just ignore their kids, and so they just stop, and then they eventually will stop. And that's exactly what like the system does. They acknowledge, and then they just ignore until it goes away.
Now, one of these things that is kind of not bugging me about the case, but something that I hope doesn't happen is like, I hope that these 5 black police officers, whose names I conveniently forgot and don't feel like looking up, y'all all know who they are. I really just hope that they don't become the face of police brutality, because I can see that happening.
That's another aspect about this.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, they can definitely be a thing.
It's gonna be a thing. They're gonna be the face of police brutality, because if you really think it, and I might be going off on the deep end here, but it almost seems like this was a lynching all the way around. You know what I mean? Like, follow my logic, right?
If I have to.
These 5 black officers hunt this one black man down, defenseless, unarmed, and I mean, it got so bad that, we saw what happened to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then these 5 officers were fired.
Yes.
They've been charged with second-degree murder at that. And it's so bad that the police chief, the mayor of Memphis, the governor of Tennessee, and even their union was like, yo, y'all were wildin'. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all really screwed up here. It's bad when your police chief doesn't have your back.
Then they normally always have your back.
Right. She can't defend this. You know what I mean? Like, that's how bad it is. But, like I said, so they're probably going to become the face of police brutality when it's been happening since before any of us were born.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of unfair that this black man loses his life, and these other 5 black men are now rightfully going to go to prison. Rightfully so, going to go to prison, going to be punished for what they've done, but yet they're going to be the faces of police brutality. I think that's a little unfair, but they did it to themselves.
It's definitely, it's ironic it's like a too evil thing where like
That's
this is clearly evil, and they have to pay for this, and then like most likely they're going to go to jail, like they're going to be convicted, and then everyone's going to be like, no, we need police. We're going to start holding everyone accountable for the things they do, the police officers, when they do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, damn, you don't like. Part of you's like, because it's
double-edged sword.
Yeah. Like this is what you wanted. Like you want police to be held accountable for the things they do. Like this is.
But why did it take a black police officer?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, why y'all wait till the black cops to get like Derek Chauvin is going to serve life in prison, rightfully so. We saw what he did, but yet Derek Chauvin is not the face of police brutality. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah.
I'll say the officers that did that to Rodney King, no one guaranteed their names were not in the book.
You see what I'm saying?
We just know Rodney King is the face that got beaten. That's it.
And the cops that killed Eric Garner.
No.
The white cop that killed
George Floyd.
George Floyd was Derek Chauvin.
Derek.
Oh, that was Derek. Okay.
Yes.
No, George. I forgot this kid's name.
The guy who killed
Trayvon Martin.
No,
we don't know his name. No,
he wasn't killed by a police officer, right?
No, I'm thinking, it was one of the
guy who killed Michael Brown in Ferguson.
There it is.
I forgot his name, man. That dude is a devil. That dude is a devil because the way that he dehumanized Michael Brown when he gave his reasons for killing him was just like, yo, you could tell that he was a racist.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
But no one knows that officer's name.
What about that kid that got shot by a cop? Wasn't there like a little kid that got shot by a cop?
Talking about Tamir Rice?
Was it Rice? I don't remember.
Tamir Rice had the toy gun.
There's also
that
issue where producer Jay said it. Like there's always something so crazy happening with police brutality that is always there's gonna be the next one next week.
So, and that goes for a lot of things, and it's sad that's why nothing really changes, is because it's happening so frequently that our attention span can't focus on all of it. Like we have to just do one. And I personally don't like that. I hate that about like these movements, because it always focuses on a singular issue, like the Black Lives Matter movement. That should have happened mad long ago. But because it only focused on one issue, like it kind of lost its luster, because the overall general public thought it was over this. Like, no, it's not over just about George Floyd. It's about the history of it. But because it gets lost in translation, that's why it's
not even lost in translation. Just because how much stuff and how much information gets spread about.
That too.
Like, let's not forget there was a mass shooting in Florida like 2 weeks ago.
Well,
followed by the 6-year-old who shot the teacher. Look how much stuff comes out so fast.
It was a mass shooting in California, no?
I know it might have been California. There was like 2 in California in like a week.
Was it the Lunar Year one? The Lunar Year celebration or something? Is that the one you're talking about?
No, the one I'm talking about is the one where like this dude got fired. Got fired, and he went up and shot 7 of the farmers that he worked with. That he shot his coworkers.
You mean the Walmart?
I don't even know. It wasn't a Walmart.
The fact that we're confused about it.
Yeah, that's the issue.
That's the issue. We don't know which one we're talking about because it's happened so frequently that we can't keep up.
I completely forgot. It's true. When Tay said the one that the kid shot the teacher, I completely forgot about that one. You know, also in addition to, you know, the fact that they're all happening so frequently together, the justice system is so slow that, you know, these things don't get resolved quickly enough for us to focus on the next one. So our attention is just being so pulled in so many different directions that it's just like, you know, and not to harper on jury duty again, but I gotta go back just because this is what one of the things that the trial bureau chief she explained to us, she was like, yeah, these cases get brought to y'all quickly, but these cases probably won't go to trial for like another year or so. And I'm like, well, who's gonna remember what happened in a year? You know what I mean? You're gonna call witnesses to testify, and they're gonna try to remember what happened a year ago. Yo, I can't remember what I ate for breakfast this morning.
You ate breakfast? That's crazy.
You see what I'm saying? Like, no, the justice system is just so slow and so convoluted that it, by the time that this case goes to trial, there'll probably be another mass shooting, or another black man gets killed, or another black woman gets killed. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Yeah.
On Black History
just gets
Month.
packed up.
Word. Black History Month just started.
The disrespect.
Martin Luther King didn't die for this.
This shit what I heard. I'm not gonna lie. If you show Malcolm X this, he'd probably be hurt the most. He'd be like, how dare you brothers do this to our brother? It's like, we stand together.
You know, like, this is just reaffirming a lot of biases already, or a lot of racism already.
About what?
In general.
About the fact that they're black cops and they killed a black guy.
Well, it's funny because the way that
this is the one that they're gonna be like, oh, you see, now things have to change, because look at what these black cops are doing. Like, now this is when they kind of see the light,
And
you see that's what I was saying. It's like,
that's that double-edged sword.
They're gonna become the face of police brutality, and I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's right. But
that beating, though, but that video and that beating might have been warranted. I'm not gonna hold you.
But here's another thing. I'm sorry, I gotta take my hoodie off for this one. Did they not think that there would be, like, your body cam was on?
Not even the body cam. There was even some street footage as well.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
There was street cam footage.
I saw body cam footage.
Oh, yours probably was worse than ours.
I mean, yeah.
Because I saw street cam footage of, like, them literally, like, nah, you ain't done yet, and picking him up.
Holding him from behind with his arms tied.
Just.
Really? Damn, that's fucked up. And then he's calling for his mom, hoping that she would hear him from down the block. Like,
there was no sound on the street cam footage, but I'm sure we could have heard that too.
Yeah. But yeah, no, what you're saying, like, it was just reckless, like, all around. Like, they should have, I mean, granted, they should have handled it obviously way better, or just not at all. But the fact that they knew that they were being recorded, and they knew it would have gotten out, just unless they thought that, oh, they had a guy that could have hide it, or like they just so happened to turn it off, or it malfunctioned or whatever.
Like,
unless they thought that was gonna happen.
It seemed like that type of beating. It seemed like, because they took him to the hospital. So probably,
well,
I was gonna say, like,
producer, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead, Tay.
Go ahead, Tay.
I was in my head, like, in my brain, they're like, oh, they took him to the hospital where he died 3 days later in critical care. So, like, in their minds, they're like, oh, we beat him enough that he'll be back. Like, is that, maybe that's what, like...
Maybe. They didn't think he'd die.
And yeah, once they heard that he died, they'll be like, oh, shit, we're in trouble. But
all 5 of us are done.
Yo, so here's another thing, right, that kind of got lost. When the fire department and EMTs showed up, they didn't administer care. I bet, yes, producer Jay. When the firefighters showed up, and I think EMS showed up right after them, and they saw him slumped over and did nothing. Yes, brother. Yes.
Where was this?
This was the same incident.
Same night.
Well, no, where was this? This was in where?
In Memphis, yes.
Memphis.
They pulled up to where
they got the ambulance. Yeah.
They saw him slumped up against the, because y'all said that they handcuffed him, stood him up, right, and he slid back down and slumped over and basically stopped breathing, right? He was I think he had a brain bruise or something like that. They beat him so bad he couldn't breathe. He slumped over. The two firefighters and I think an EMS showed up, and they saw him slumped over like that and did nothing. They didn't take him right away. They didn't check a pulse and say, "Yo, what did y'all do? Like somebody get him some help."
There?
Yes. Let me find this real fast.
Did they just they told them no, don't do anything? Like what?
Hold on, wait for me.
What is the justification?
Hold on.
No justification. It's the same shit. They're like, "Oh, what's up, bro?" Like they were all talking and stuff.
Yeah.
It
Although the firefighter, I feel like I'm more shocked that firefighters not doing anything.
Check this out. It says 3 Memphis Fire Department employees were fired Monday. 2 of them were black. 3 Memphis Fire Department employees were fired Monday for what the departments described as failing to provide Tyre Nichols an, quote, adequate patient assessment when they were called to provide medical aid after he was beaten by police officers. 2 emergency medical technicians, Robert Long and Jamichael Sandridge, and fire engine driver Lieutenant Mitchell Whitaker were also EMTs. One of them was an actual fire engine driver, were initially called to provide medical aid for Nicholas being pepper sprayed. Our investigations concluded that 2 EMTs responded based on the initial nature of the call, person pepper sprayed, and information they were told on the scene, and failed to conduct an adequate patient assessment of Mr. Nichols. After their initial interaction with Mr. Nichols, they requested an ambulance to respond, right? The ambulance, they got there at 8:41. An ambulance was sent out at 8:46, arriving at 8:55. By 9:08, Nichols was taken to St. Francis Hospital. Whitaker stayed in the engine. The entire time.
He ain't get out. He ain't get out the car. He was like, "I ain't moving."
Nope.
They showed that was a 27 spam. 27 minutes. That was 27 minutes.
So
from that countdown, because it got there at 8:41. They didn't look at him till 8:46. Is what that report just said. So they didn't look at him till after 5 minutes after they got there.
I would have to assume
they got there later than that. They got there 5 minutes to 9, and he got to the hospital.
EMT did.
You said the EMT showed up at 8:41.
No. That's when the fire Long and Sandridge, according to the statement, arrived to the neighborhood at 8:41. Yes. An ambulance was sent out at 8:46, and it arrived at 8:55. By 9:08.
So the 8:55, that's 9 minutes, but that's just driving over there. I'm not gonna be mad. There could have been traffic or something. Nothing. You want them there faster, but I'm going to give a benefit of the doubt on that one because they got called out but
it's from 5. What was it? 9:55.
8:55.
Oh no, 8:55 to 9:08. That they didn't start taking him over there.
Well, we don't know what time they got him into the ambulance, but he got to the hospital at 9:08.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm that's a driving sequence. I want to know more what happened with that driving sequence, but we won't get that information. But my standpoint is from that point, they got there at 8:41, and the ambulance wasn't called till 8:46. So that's 5 minutes that no one that it took them to be like, oh yeah, we need a hospital, we need an ambulance.
So I'm actually glad that you're mentioning this because it kind of goes into the timeline a little bit. It says a video of Nichols. I don't know why I keep saying Nicholas. A video of Nichols being beaten is silent, taken from a Sky Cop camera at Castlegate and Bear Creek Lane, is about 30 minutes long. So that's probably the street cam that y'all saw. Right? It says the camera swivels to show 2 officers violently pushing Nichols to the ground on his face as he tries to turn over. We go down just a little bit. The minutes stretch on as Nichols lies against the car, with more officers clustering around. At one point, Nichols appears to slump off the car and lie fully on the ground. He rocks back and forth on the cement with officers offering no aid. So I told you, he was slumped up against the car. right? It is not until 28 minutes into the video that a stretcher is brought for Nichols. Criminal charges have not been filed against the firefighters, but the 5 police officers have been charged with second-degree murder.
Absolutely.
So I have to,
which is also, I have to wonder. Honestly, second-degree murder is a murder charge of passion. So any extreme emotion. So
I have to wonder if like the cops were like telling them not to do it or not to do anything. Because that just seems like I'm trying to wrap my head around it. It does not make sense at all.
Even if they did, like, you still should see it that's your job. Like, there are people I deal with. Like when I'm a social worker, there are people I deal with who insult me every day, and I still have a job to do. Like, regardless, like, a personal thing is a personal bias. You can be like, man, I can, like, they told me to do this. Well, I can wait another 10 minutes to do this. I still have to do it though.
You have an obligation.
Yeah. But that's me as a social worker. I can do that. They're handling people's lives for real. Like, I was panicking in my job when I had to keep people from being homeless. Like, I'm like, being homeless could save a life, but they're legit saving lives. You can't be like, oh, officer told me not to, so like, let me take my 5 minutes to play this video game on my phone.
Right, and that's what the report said. It said that, they failed to assess him, because you pull up to a whatchamacallit, you get called for a pepper sprayed, and you pull up and you see a dude slumped up against a police car.
Well, clearly it's not pepper spray.
Hello. Like, yo, this is not, this is bigger than that. Send the ambulance.
Even if it is pepper spray, that's allergic. Even if he got pepper spray and he ended up slumped, that's allergy. That's still a problem. He can still die.
Right.
You still need to act better than that.
It's
insane. Outrageous. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting. And it, I feel bad because this is how I would say most Black people do feel in America, that we're just not protected by police officers at all. We actually really don't trust police officers at all.
Well, even that's been a running gag from comedians making the joke. Like, Dave Chappelle's made that joke when he first started doing comedy. Where he literally was like, my house got robbed. I didn't call the police. My house was too nice for me. Yeah. I wouldn't believe I lived in it. To the point of, like, even every rapper probably has a song about, like, how they don't really want to talk to, where they don't really trust the police.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one that comes to my mind right now is Polo G. But he did it over a Tupac beat, which also Tupac also was very voiceive about police brutality as well.
It's especially like we're in New York. Like I said before, I've never had any bad experience with the cops, but it's gotten to the point, because I've heard all these stories and I've seen all this stuff, that even when I see a cop, like, they're just be standing there on the train station, I tense up because I'm just like, I feel like something's about to happen. Like, that shouldn't be like that. You should trust them. You should be safe around them. And the fact that I don't feel safe around them is telling.
The problem, they're supposed to feel safe. The problem, as soon as you see them, you're like, damn.
Yeah.
It's funny. I could be wearing...
Yo, for real.
And it's weird because I could be wearing my MTA stuff. I could be wearing my vest, helmet, whatever. And as soon as I walk past police officers, I tense up also. I'm not going to lie to you. You know what I mean? And I'm a city employee just like you are. So it's like, it's weird.
It's not. It's always been a problem. It's always going to be a problem for now. Because remember that, like, ironically, that's what started, like, Crips and Bloods, to have protection against the police. Always remember that. That was the starting point for those gangs. And now we're all at the point in New York City. Like, I kid you not, I was at a training in, like, Brooklyn, and I saw people, like, they were playing dice with money on the street corner, and I still walk by relaxed, like, it's like, dice games. Let me go to the bodega real quick, get a sandwich. When I went home, there was like 4 officers at the train station, and I'm by myself, like, damn. It's like, please don't look this way.
No, and then you can't even look at them, because if you look at them, that you'd be like, oh, am I giving myself away? I didn't do anything, but are they going to approach me now?
Your brain like, fuck, if they got come, I was like, please don't talk to me.
I was like, I don't even want to look at them. That's how bad it's gotten.
Giving you away your position.
Yeah, it's like I didn't even do shit, but I still feel guilty. That's how bad it is.
I incriminated myself by
looking at them.
I did a quick glance.
And this is why I don't buy the whole Blue Lives Matter thing. I'm like, yo,
yeah, no, that's
the most notorious gang in the country.
They're a legal gang. That's what it is.
And it's funny because so apparently these 5 cops were part of like this anti-mob unit that, you know, they practically have like jurisdiction. I think they call them the pull-out boys or something like that. That sounds weird.
I did hear they had like a specific name for this group. I don't remember what it was.
I'm sorry, the pull-out boys? Excuse me?
That sounds like a porn.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What is going on here? I want to Google it, but I also don't want this on my Google research.
You know?
No, they were part of some unit where they can like. I gotta find it now because we can't settle on that. Memphis.
No, I know they had a name. I remember reading
they had
that
a name.
They had a name for that group of police officers.
It's an anti-mob. Like, I mean, there are units like that. Oh, weren't they supposed to be like weren't they supposed to be part of the elite force or something like that?
They were part of the Scorpion unit.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I did hear about this.
But they had like a street name for them.
They're supposed to be the elite task force of the police department.
Hold on, it says that.
Which is also a bullshit thing. Your police department shouldn't have elite task force.
Everybody should be the elite.
I'm just saying.
A new anti-violence unit with a fearsome name. It says MPD's new Scorpion unit launched. And it's only been around for like a year and some change.
Well, that shit getting dissolved right now.
Expeditiously.
The Scorpion
unit.
Scorpion unit. I don't need Scorpion. I need the real Scorpion to be on my side at this point. Fuck this.
It's basically an anti-violent crime unit. I'm sorry.
That is ironic as hell.
It's an anti-crime unit, like for gangs and stuff like that. That's what's supposed to be.
Anti-violence.
Anti-gang like violence, stuff like that. That's what supposed to be the thing is?
Okay, I found it. It says Memphis Scorpion Unit was created in October 21 under the police department's organized crime unit. Made up of 40 officers divided into 4 10-member teams, the unit was tasked not only with addressing violent crime, but also with investigating car thefts and gangs, right?
That was right.
Officers' crime suppression assignments changed depending on where the crime was worse.
They did their job a little too well because they exercised gang mentality and game tactics. Some of them did a little too much study.
Yeah,
or they just had a past.
Yeah, that sounds about that pretty much explains it, Tay. Like they said that they did the job a little too well.
They're like, we learned these gang tactics, might as well use them on this dude right here who's dating my brother's wife.
It says Memphis set a record for homicides in 21 for the second year in a row. The police department reported 346 in 2021, up from 332 the previous year. Mayor Jim Strickland promoted the new Scorpion unit as part of his solution in his January 2022 State of the City speech. He touted it as part of an anti-crime strategy that also included gun violence, intervention programs, and more money for the police department. In his first 3 months, Scorpion made hundreds of arrests and seized hundreds of cars and weapons. Wow.
I mean,
but yeah, they were part of the Scorpion team. And
talk about ruining it for everybody else.
Oh, see, okay. Here's the kicker, right?
Oh, there we go.
Mark LaShore, a former Memphis police sergeant who retired in 2021, said he began to see a large number of relatively inexperienced officers being put on specialized units as a lot of the police force started leaving in recent years. Such units did not have enough senior staff members training the new officers, adding that that was concerning to him. Rookies were getting put on specialized units where they had no business being.
And there it is.
Oh my God! You should be able to be a police officer. Go to police. You shouldn't be a police officer if you haven't been to school longer than like 3 years. I'm tired of this.
Yeah, if you're using like freaking gang tax or freaking this is high school shit. Honestly,
That's what
pulling up on somebody.
That's what I'm
Pull up
saying. Like
boys.
literally, stop it.
Pull up, boys.
Pull up boys. Yeah.
Okay.
See, like that's like
Yeah, they pulled up all right.
damn it. But like that's my issue. Like
You're not
people
supposed
literally
to
like
laugh.
they finish high school and they go straight to police academy. No, I need you to do some college. No, I'm not doing this.
I think police officers should have a 4-year degree in criminal justice before they can,
Absolutely.
you know,
I don't
or
know.
some
But see, that's
or
that's the problem.
criminology.
Something.
They
Their
don't
academy,
want
their
that.
academy should at least 3 years. I don't need you to go to police academy for 6 months and then be a police officer.
Oh well, yeah.
I
I was gonna say because there's a lot of these freaking cops and they're fucking stupid. Like that's they want them to be ignorant so they can do all this shit. I mean, and claim ignorance.
Well, not only that, but what happens is a lot of dudes who were bullied growing up, or who were like the dumb jock kind of character type,
they
they grow up to become cops.
Yeah.
So that way
They
they can
also they like that authority complex.
exactly,
They want to have power over people and they take advantage of it.
exactly.
Some of them
So-
were bullied. Some of them were like, they peaked in high school and this is what they got left.
There you go. There you go. No, seriously.
I was
'cause-
I was my high school's football star, but I got hurt and I couldn't go to college. So now I'm a police officer.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Take all this aggression
now take
Like,
these 6
instead of-
water shots in
instead
your
of-
back.
instead of going to fucking
Go to
therapy.
therapy.
Yeah. They
No.
become cops. Yo.
And then their aggression becomes the 6 warning shots. Like I tried to give him a warning shot, just so happened to hit him in the back of the neck. Where were you aiming?
And it's sad that we shouldn't joke about these things, but that's pretty much what happens.
Yeah.
You know, so what can we do, brothers? What can we do?
That's the $1 million question.
I'm all for my first thing is like just change how long people stay in this academy. Academy shouldn't be 6 months. I'm just saying. Like, and also
agree.
you have to change if you're going to keep it 6 months. At least change the requirements to get in there. At least associate's degree in criminology or criminal justice. I shouldn't be
Yeah.
able to go into a police academy for 6 months with a GED or a high school diploma only.
Oh,
But then you limit the amount. See, that's also you limit the amount of police in general. because
good.
of that. But I know, but that's why
We're not.
that's why they put all these people in. There's a police shortage.
Well, you know, it's
police
like
shortage
Chris Rock
because of these
said.
police officers. You need to that's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
The police
It's a
officers
vicious,
like if
it's a
police
vicious cycle.
yeah, it like police are like more friendly. Like people would go to school. Like, yeah, I wouldn't mind going to school to be a police officer. But when you get ignorant things, they're like, why would I want to join the ignorant things over there when I can try my best to avoid it?
Yeah.
It leads to more ignorant people playing for the ignorant shit. Oh my god, it's a terrible cycle that we started.
I remember Chris Rock made a joke during his last stand-up. Right? He was like, "Some jobs really just can't have bad apples."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like, "Yo, you'll never get an airline that has a bad pilot."
That's a fact.
That's true.
And
When people's lives are at stake,
it
yeah,
should
you
be
really
no
You gotta
bad
be at the
apples.
top of your game, right?
But like you see the issue, like you see, people will still go to school to be a pilot. No one's being like, damn, being a pilot is dangerous. They're like, no, like they be like, I need this so we can do this with the plane. He like, I go to school for 8 years for that. I do it.
Right. You know
Even
what I'm
like
saying?
I have an obsession. I like space. You don't see me try to be an astronaut or try to be a scientist with space travel off a 2-year diploma. That shit don't work.
It just doesn't work. You know what I'm saying?
Like
And
I tried to throw a monkey in space off my 2-year degree and I got fired. I don't understand what happened. Fuck.
you can't be a bad doctor either.
That's called a lawsuit and that's called jail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you just
screw
end up in
up
another
medically,
state doing plastic surgery in another country.
yeah.
And they still
Hell.
come get you regardless.
Hell, if I screwed up on my job I'm losing it.
Yeah.
If I screw up my job, I lose it.
So I think you just. But how do you hold police officers accountable? How? I'll tell you how. Jury duty.
Okay.
Jury duty.
Full circle.
I was back.
It all comes full circle because no, seriously. So you if any of y'all noticed, like, especially when it came to Michael Brown's case, when it came to Tamir's Rice case, who else? Eric Garner's case, the grand juries chose not to indict these officers. That power rests with you. You know what I'm saying? So when you do jury, remember, white folk are gonna do jury duty. These white people who like, yes, hold the blue line, blue lives matter, this, that, and the third, build the wall. Those idiots, guess what? They're going to jury duty and saying, no, we're not going to indict these police officers.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a fan of now. Just I want to reduce the age of jury duty and start throwing high school kids in there. Only from cities, because like they don't got jobs. They still get paid for jury duty. But like these new generation high schoolers, how much they hate people.
I think they wouldn't care.
No,
They just be like,
well, I think I don't think you. I think the only reason why is because they can't pay taxes yet. I think that's why you can't.
well,
You know what I mean?
They can still get this money.
I'm all for it. Send them.
you could just give them a lump sum. I think you can get up to like $500 tax free.
That's fine.
And you don't have to report that.
By all means, definitely send these high school. I feel like at that point you'd be like, "Yo, do you want to go to class or you want to go to jury duty and get money?" I guarantee you, they'd be like, "Money."
Give me the money. Word.
Exactly.
You see how often they try to become influencers on every social media for money.
You know what? Yeah, now that you put it that
Yeah.
way.
These new kids understand, because of us, they understand how much these dollars really count. Us as high schoolers didn't give a fuck. Let's be honest, we didn't care about high school. We didn't care in high school.
We did.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I was on the law team, but I didn't care.
Motherfucker, you didn't give a fuck.
I didn't. I really didn't. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You was chasing skirts.
One skirt.
Oh, aren't you loyal?
I was. Producer Jay knows.
Yes, I do.
I'm so proud of you, especially after some other thing. No, I'm not gonna. That's personal. We're not gonna talk about that later.
Okay. No, you're not gonna go there.
No, this has
Not
nothing
tonight.
This has nothing to do with you. I do have some stories I've heard today that make my brain go crazy right now.
Okay.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Always remember, I have the tattoo of a halo because I'm an angel. Always remember this. That's the worst part. I'm the angel.
If you're the angel, I hate to see the devil.
Exactly. No, imagine the neutral.
Neutral.
Man.
Oh boy.
So, people, tell us your thoughts and your opinions on this Tyre Nichols situation. Do you think the officers are getting what they deserve, being charged with second-degree murder? Also, tell us about your issues that you may have had with the police. Have you had any good experiences? Have you had bad experiences? What's your thoughts on police brutality? What are your thoughts on how we can fix it, how we can change it? And, just reach out to us. Tell us what you think.
Jury duty.
People. Yeah. Tell us about how you feel about jury duty too.
No grind your gear segment today for you. But sure,
Happy.
You can reach us at you can send us emails at excusemebrotherpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at excuse_me_brother with an A, not the ER. Black History Month, gotta stay true. Follow us on TikTok. I think it's just excuse me brother with the ER because Jay's racist. Always told you this. And then if you're watching it on YouTube, you already know where the channel is. But on the YouTube channel, the Excuse Me Brother, I think it's Excuse Me Brother Podcast.
Yes.
Excuse Me Brother Podcast YouTube channel. Always subscribe, leave comments, leave likes. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't like. I guarantee you, at least one of us will read it. Will it change? We'll see. But thank you for listening to us. We always send condolences to the Tyre family. May that brother rest in peace. You know what it is.
All right. Peace, love, and soul.
No violence. No violence this month. It's Black History
Month. It's Black History Month. Let's just be nice.
In fact, look at all your white friends. Be like, is it because I'm black? Gotta say it at least 3 times a day.
Wait, do any of y'all have a whatchamacallit for what grinds my gears?
Nah.
No?
I would, but like my voice is coming in and out because I'm using it too much. For me being happy for having it, I'll do it next time.
Okay, cool. No
but
problem.
Also, the Super Bowl with the first 2 black quarterbacks is interesting to me.
Amen. That's right. That's right. We had our 2 coaches back in with Tony Dungy and
Lovie Smith.
Now we got Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts playing in the Super Bowl. 2 black quarterbacks, y'all. 2.
So I'm black.
I don't care if Patrick Mahomes is half white. He belonged to us. He's ours.
He definitely.
You haven't traded him yet in the
racial draft.
The racial draft.
He's ours. Goddammit.
He claims more black than anything. You see this father?
There you go.
My boy.
Yo,
his father was wildin'.
His father is a goon.
His father was wildin' in that post game. He's like, yeah. It's like, my son did it again. Give me that boy.
Peace out, y'all.
See ya.